And the first one is our Apana Mudra, and Apana is the energy of downward grounding. And this is also a really helpful digestive and eliminatory mudra. And this can also be a mentally helpful mudra for digestion and elimination, getting rid of the stuff that you don't need, right? So this is connecting your middle two fingers with your thumb. And we're gonna do that with both hands, palms down on our legs. And then the second mudra is our Ganesh Mudra. And our Ganesh Mudra, because Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. I find his energy important all the time, but right now in particular, because a lot of those obstacles really are within our own minds. Yes, there are some real obstacles out there right now, but the biggest obstacle is our own self and our own minds. And so this mudra is connecting your fingers, one thumb up, one thumb down at the heart. And with that, we take a big inhale and then exhale, pull apart and engage the shoulder blades. And then inhale, release, and exhale. And we'll do it in both directions, okay? So we'll come to a comfortable seat now. And in that comfortable seat, remember, it's really important for your seat to be something where you can sit tall with ease. And so make sure that you have propped yourself. I've already done a yoga practice today, so it feels pretty good just to have a low lift of my hips. But maybe you need a high lift of your hips or a prop underneath the knees, right? So take the time to set yourself up really well, really compassionately. And now move your sitting bones. Move them back and broad. This enables that tilt of the pelvis so your belly can come forward. And let's take that Apana Mudra, or that downward grounding energy, that energy that helps us to digest and eliminate what isn't needed anymore. So middle fingers and thumb connect. Turn your palms up on your legs and give a gentle press. That press does a couple of things. It helps you to ground, but it also helps you to sit taller because now you're more free, right? So as you let your eyes close, take a couple of breaths in and out of your nose. And now tune into a two-word mantra of let go. Silently to yourself, or you're welcome to say it out loud. No one can hear you, so it's okay to say let go. As you inhale, let. As you exhale, go. Let's take this 5 times with our breath. And now shifting our hands to our Ganesh Mudra. And we're still going to use this let go mantra, but we're taking fingers together in front of our heart, one thumb up, one thumb down. Draw shoulder blades onto your back. And as you inhale, you sit tall. As you exhale, pull apart with your fingertips. Inhale, sit tall. Think the word let. Exhale, pull apart, think the word go. 5 more times with your breath. After your 5th, switch and flip your thumbs in the opposite direction. Same thing, 5 breaths here. Inhaling, let, exhaling, go. And after your fifth breath, release your hands down. Turn your palms up in this open and receptive place on your legs. Take a couple of full deep inhales and exhales, simply allowing your breath to be natural and full through your nose. And then softly open your eyes if they're still closed. Reach your arms out to the side. So you're reaching through your fingertips. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back. Take a couple of movements with your head and your neck, taking ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. And even more so, as you take your head over to the left side, reach longer through your right fingertips. As your head comes over to the right side, reach longer through your left fingertips. Then back into center, take an inhale and reach your arms up overhead. Pause as you reach, and you can connect fingertips or have your arms wide, whichever feels best on your shoulders. But draw shoulder blades onto your back and find a rotation of your arms. So your palms are trying to turn a little back. This is external arm bone rotation. Take an inhale, lift your chest up a little higher. Exhale, turn your palms and release your fingertips to the ground. Tuck your chin in and get a little longer through the back of your neck. Add a little shake of your head, no, here toward the ground, letting yourself discover what's happening through the sides of your neck, tops of your shoulders. Then long through the back of your neck, take an inhale and reach your arms up overhead. This time, exhale, take a gentle twist over to the left side. So your right hand can come to wherever it needs to be. Left fingertips help you press in behind your back and lift up just a little taller. Inhale here. Exhale, low ribs draw in to help you twist just a little more. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, take your twist over to the right side. Again, left hand to wherever you need it to be. Doesn't have to be your knee or thigh, it can be the floor in front of you. Right fingertips behind you, lift up taller through your spine. And exhale, low ribs draw in to help you twist. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, this time hands come together at heart center in Anjali Mudra, prayer position at the heart. Press gently through your palms and through your fingertips, and even think of creating a little tunnel that you can look through with your fingers as you press. So now shoulder blades are engaging onto your back. Lengthen the back of your neck, and now shake your head no. Then as your head comes over to the right side, nod your head yes. And then head over to the left side and nod your head yes. And then gently release your hands, switch the cross of your legs, coming to the less comfortable cross for yourself. Shift your sitting bones. And now palms turn up with your elbows hugging in towards your sides, and then find that rotation of your upper arm bones so you're expanding through your heart space here. Gratitude arms. Exhale, draw your low ribs in, filling into that kidney area of your back. From that place, turn your head to the right, tuck your chin down, move your left shoulder blade further onto your back. Then lift your gaze, turn your head over to the left, tuck your chin down, and re-engage your right shoulder blade. Then back into center here. Connect your fingertips in front of you, coming to that ballerina arm place with your elbows lifted to shoulder height. Push your fingertips together, take a big exhale and draw your low ribs in, expanding into your upper back. Find that expansion into your mid back, and then add some movement here side to side through your shoulders, allowing that stretch through the lats. Then back into center now, release your arms. Just give them a little bit of a shake. And now, hands above your head, we're gonna take a little bit of a subscapula area stretch. So take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand and pull apart. I've done this recently in some classes. So notice the movement of your right shoulder blade. I want you to move it onto your back and off of your back a couple of times. And now keep your right shoulder blade moving onto your back. Keep pulling apart with your hands. Move your right shoulder back in space, or right elbow back in space, but turn your ribs forward. Take a big breath right here. Then release your arms, give them a shake. Maybe remove a layer if your space heater is warming up the room a little bit. And then reach your arms up overhead again and take a hold of your left wrist. Pull apart and then start that movement of your shoulder blade onto your back and off your back a couple times on the left side. On your back and off your back, on your back and off your back. Finding that movement of your scapula. Now keep it on your back, start to move your left elbow back in space and turn your ribs forward at the same time. Take a big deep breath. And then gently release, give your arms a shake. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, twist over to the left side one more time. Press down with fingertips, lift your ribs, your heart. Exhale, low ribs draw in to help you twist. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, take that twist over to the right side. And again, press down, lift your ribs and your sides. Exhale, low ribs help you twist. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, hands travel down to heart center. Press palms together. Elbows lift up so that wrists and elbows are at about the same height. Move your shoulder blades onto your back. Draw your low ribs in. And from here, just a couple times, rotating with your hands. A little movement through your wrists, your forearms. Good. Okay. Now shift forward onto hands and knees and then back right away with your hips towards your heels into a child's pose. And take whichever variation of child's pose feels the best. So knees wide or narrow. And as you release your arms out straight ahead, turn your palms up in this receptive place. Let your head release down. And if you'd like to, you can add that letting go mantra here. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. As you take some full deep inhales and exhales, and at the same time, maybe shift a little through your hips, maybe inch your arms a little further forward. 2 more deep breaths right here. And now rise up just a little ways and walk your hands over to the left side. If it feels good in your body, you can stack your right hand over your left. Let your head release down. Maybe it comes down to something. Maybe it stays covering. Take a couple deep breaths and imagine your right hip moving even further back. Inhale through center and exhale over to the right side. And again, if it feels good, you can stack your hands. And now letting your head rest down to whatever comfortable place that is for you. Take a big deep breath into your left side. Then inhale, come back into center. We're gonna rise to hands and knees. And from hands and knees now, we'll get a little bit of stretch through calves and through hamstrings to set yourself up wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Feel free to prop something or put a blanket or whatever you need underneath your knees here. As you rotate your elbow pits forward and push, let a little strength and stability happen through the upper back. Inhale, reach back with your right leg, toes tucked under on the ground, and then pulse. And as you pulse, depending on what's tight in your body, you might feel sensation through your calves, maybe into your hamstrings. Take a few deep breaths. Just notice what that is for you. And then release your right knee back to the ground and stretch back with your left leg, toes tucked under on the ground. Pause and remember your shoulders and your arms. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Then begin to pulse. And just remember we're not symmetrical, so you might have different sensations on this side. Just notice what's showing up. And take some deep breaths in and out of the nose. And then release your knee back to the ground. And now inhale, reach back with your right leg. Toes tucked under on the ground. And from here, we're gonna lift up and open with our right hip. And turn sideways again so that you can see your toes stay on the ground, your hands stay on the ground, but turn your right hip open so you're maybe lengthening a little bit more through your sides, feeling a little expansion into your ribs. And now even more so, think of reaching your right shoulder away from your right hip. Exhale, both knees come back to the ground. And inhale, reach your left leg back behind you. And then lift up with your left hip. And again, left shoulder and left hip move away from each other. Take a big deep breath. And then release your left knee back to the ground. Settle hips back towards your heels. Turn your palms up again. And this time you're going to stay lifted with your head. So we're going to give our forearms a little bit of love. So as you have your forearms on the ground, palms lifted, take a couple big breaths and stretch out through your hands. For me, I feel that all the way into my shoulders. And then relax your hands. And then stretch out through your hands. And relax your hands. And now, right hand over to your left forearm. And you're going to go up and down your forearm a couple of times, pushing. And if you push and your fingers move a little bit, that's okay. It's supposed to happen. Okay, other side. Right arm back down. Left hand goes up and down your forearm. Good. And now back up to your hands and knees. Should have given your wrists a little bit of a break from being on them for a little bit there. We're going to step our right foot forward in between our hands. Make sure you have your blocks handy. We're not going to come into a super deep hip stretch, but we are going to come into a hamstring stretch. So blocks or whatever you're using, you can always use one tall thing on the inside here. But work your hips back, front leg towards straight. Work your blocks back so that your wrists can be underneath your shoulders. And you can always shift where your heel is for a little bit more comfort. Comfort is relative. Hamstrings are tough. Pull your toes back towards your nose and push your heel down so your knee lifts a little bit. And now wrap your right hip back. And as you do so, you might see your whole leg rotate just a little bit. But now send your sitting bones up and say hello to your hamstrings. And now from here, you're going to try to keep your hips steady right where they are and find some rotation with your leg. like you're waving at me with your foot. And then bend into your front knee. And for just a moment, a spinal twist. Set your left hand on your block, right hand to your knee as you turn your belly and your heart toward the right side. Put both shoulder blades on your back. And then if you want to, for a full breath, stretch your right arm to the sky. Exhale, both hands come back down to your blocks or the floor and settle back onto your hands and knees. Pause for a moment and just notice, move through a cat and cow or maybe a little hip sway or shoulder sway. And then step left foot forward in between your hands. And again, blocks are handy here for the hamstring part especially. Allows us to get longer through our spine instead of rounding. So now shift your hips back, shift your hands back, and then adjust where your heel is. Ideally, we're coming to about a stacked place with our back thigh. So toes pull back toward your nose, and then wrap your left hip back to even out the hips. Send sitting bones up, extend your heart. Now keep your hips even as you rotate through your leg. You're moving through the hip socket as opposed to moving the hips up and down. Take a big deep breath. Good. And then bend into your front knees. Set your right hand on your block or the floor on the outside edge of your mat. Left hand to your knees. You turn your belly and your heart to the left side. Put both shoulder blades on your back. And then if you'd like to, you can stretch up. Take a big breath. Good. Exhaling, both hands come back down to the ground. And as you settle back this time onto your child's pose or into your child's pose, locate your pillow or bolster. Open your knees up enough for your pillow or bolster to settle in between your legs if that's the most comfortable for you. And then you're going to take this restorative version of child's pose where your chest gets to rest down, your head gets to rest down. Take a few deep breaths as you settle your body into a comfortable place. So if where you are is not comfortable, then shift it. Maybe shift your bolster, or maybe let your hips stay up a little higher. Find where it feels good to your body. As you find that comfortable spot for yourself, just remember that we hold our restorative poses for a little bit longer with that intention of finding where we can release. So if you need to shift and move, please do so with the intention of being able to find stillness. If your head is turned to one side, feel free to change it to the other side. You have about 3 more breaths. Then use your hands to support support you to rise up with your torso. And you're going to move your bolster so it's toward the front of your mat. And we're going to come to that IT band stretch in our fallen triangle that some of you know and love. So as you come to hands and knees, you're going to set your left leg through to the right side. So you cross it over to the right side and then settle all the way down onto your left hip. And from this place, your left leg can be all the way out straight if that feels okay. Your right leg can reach back straight behind you if that feels okay, but either knee can bend or both knees can bend. And then you pull your bolster to wherever you need it to be to rest. This can be a pretty sensational pose, so just notice what that is for you. And if there's too much sensation, then bend one knee or both knees, or shift. Maybe move the bolster closer or further away. Take a few breaths and notice for yourself what you need. And if you'd like to tune back into that letting go breath, inhaling the word let and exhaling the word go, feel free. We have 2 more breaths on this side. Then gently use your hands to support you to rise up with your torso. And now we're going to transition a little bit differently than how we came into it. Sometimes having those 2 options, it makes it easier to get into. So instead of hands and knees, we're going to come up to a seat, bending both knees, and turn ourselves to face the left side. So your right hip is closest to the pillow or bolster. And now you're going to shift your weight onto your right hip as you extend your right leg out to the right side, and then extend your left leg straight back behind you if that feels good. And then shift where your pillow or bolster is to let yourself rest. As you take a few deep breaths here, again, remember we're not symmetrical. So you can notice for yourself how the sensations differ. But make any shifts, any changes that you need to make it more easeful. Again, if you would like to, you can add that letting go mantra. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Two more breaths on this side. Now gently use your hands to support you. Bring your torso back upright. And then we're going to turn ourselves around to face forward on our sitting bones. And move your bolster aside for just a moment. We're going to take our feet together into a diamond shape with our legs, so not a butterfly. And move your sitting bones. And now we're going to take a twist to the left side first. So pull your pillow or bolster off from your left hip diagonally back toward the wall behind you. Turn your right leg, so it's going in the same direction as your left, and it means that your right hip is going to lift up, and you can adjust the position here with your legs if you need. But then turn your belly and your heart towards your bolster, and I even like to pick my hips up to help myself turn a little bit more, and then adjust where the pillow or bolster is to rest. As you take some big breaths here, again, same thing. If there's any part of this that's uncomfortable, then make sure to gently shift. Inhaling, let. Exhaling, go. Give yourself permission to settle in. Two more breaths on this side. And use your hands to support you to bring your torso back upright. And shift your hips back to center, legs back to that diamond shape. And then move your pillow over to the right side or your bolster over to the right side. And then just a note on twists. Many of you know this already, but even a gentle twist is really beneficial for bringing out and getting oxygen and blood moving in your body and organs. So as you turn your left knee and let your left hip lift, turn your belly and your heart, your torso towards your bolster, and begin to rest. Just remember that if you need to come out of this twist a little bit, you still get the benefits of the twist, even if it's a small amount of twist. To adjust to comfort. And tune into that letting go breath. Two more breaths on this side. And use your hands for support to bring you back upright. And turn your hips forward. Feet come back together into that diamond shape. And then grab your blanket and we'll stay right here for another restorative pose. So with your blanket, you're gonna roll it up And set your blanket over your feet. And then wrap it underneath your legs, and that way your ankles have a little bit of support. And then your pillow or bolster goes on the inside of your legs and over your feet. Then whatever other props you need, sometimes I need a couple of blocks, sometimes I don't need anything. But shift your sitting bones. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, hinge from the hips to fold towards your pillow or bolster. And you might stack hands or put a prop underneath your head, but find a place where your third eye can rest. Find the place where that place in your body that is kind of the button of release for your nervous system can be pressed. And then let your eyes soften behind your eyelids. And let yourself notice any shifts or adjustments you need to make. So maybe come up a little higher. Or maybe take out a prop or two. Make little shifts in your body to help you find more length. And then return to that letting go breath. You have about 3 more breaths here. And now gently inhale and bring yourself back upright. And you can set props aside and let your legs come out long for a moment. Fingertips beside your hips and just give your knees a little bit of movement. And so lock your feet in and you can pick either your pillow or bolster or your blanket to set underneath your thighs. Then let your legs come to rest, and this is a way of helping you so that you don't hyperextend your knees, but also if your hamstrings are really tight, then they have something to support them as well. So toes pull back gently towards your nose. Take your left fingertips to the floor beside your hip and press down. Lift your ribs. Then exhale and draw your low ribs in to help you twist to the left side, taking your right hand across to your left thigh or maybe just below your knee, and where it feels the best in your body. And take a big inhale to sit taller. Exhale to ring out from your low ribs. Full couple of breaths right here. Then inhale, sit tall, and exhale, unwind. Inhale, length, Exhale, take that twist over to the right side. And again, find where it's comfortable for your hand to rest. We're not trying to reach for our foot, but instead finding lots of length and lift. Exhale, low ribs hug in to help you twist. And then take a few deep breaths. Inhale to unwind. Bring your footprints to the ground. Take your prop out from underneath. And now we're going to come to lay all the way down onto our backs. And from your back, you want to make sure that you can reach all of your props. But draw your knees up close as is comfortable. And you might take your knees wide here if that feels better on your body. And then add just gentle rock side to side. And then we'll do some hamstring pulsations. Set your left foot on the ground. Clasp your hands behind the backside of your right thigh. And then as you begin to press your hamstrings into your hands, start to lengthen your leg up as long and as straight as is comfortable. And then release that press, switch where your hands are and press again. Release that press, switch where your hands are and press again. So you're moving up and down the back side of your hamstrings. Release and press, release and press, release and press. A few times. And then find about midway down the back of your leg and press your hamstrings into your hands. And this is just gently. It's not the biggest, deepest hamstring stretch you've ever taken in your life. But keep your left hand at the back of your right leg. Take your right thumb into your hip crease and press your hip crease. So think of pressing your upper thigh forward. It'll give your whole leg a little rotation in the hip socket. And now from that place, just a tiny bit, bring your leg across your body to the left. Keeping your hips on the ground. Take a big breath here. Hamstrings are pressing and the outside edge of your leg is getting some stretch. And now back at the center, bend your right knee rather, set your right ankle over your left knee. So now you have that figure four pose. If you'd like to, you can pick your legs up towards your body, or you can keep your feet or your foot on the ground. But wherever you are, if it feels good, you can add a little rock here. Just letting the low back lengthen. And now wherever you're holding on, you can hold on around the back side of your left thigh, or you can hold on to your right knee and foot. Add a little gentle rock over to the left side so that your right hip is lifted. And then reach your right sitting bone out to the right and toward the foot of your mat. Just a little bit, a little gentle stretch that sometimes feels like a lot of stretch. So just notice it for yourself, and if it's really intense, then lighten up a little bit. And now back into center with your legs. Set your left foot down and set your right foot down. And now draw your left knee in toward your body. Clasp your hands behind the back of your left thigh and begin those pulses. Push into your hands and lengthen. Push into your hands and lengthen. Moving up and down the back side of your thigh. Getting different parts of your hamstrings. And now find about midway down the back of your thigh. You're going to keep your right hand there. Left thumb into your hip crease and give your hip crease a push so your leg is rotating. And then just gently take it across your body toward the left side or toward the right side rather. So you're getting that IT band stretch, but think of both hips on the ground. Flex your foot here and press hamstrings into your hands as you keep that rotation, as you keep that push onto your hip. And now back into center. Bend your knee and cross your left ankle over your right knee. And then if it feels good, you can pick your legs up. If it doesn't, you can keep your foot on the ground because you can still do a rocking here with your foot on the ground. So wherever that is for you, rock a little side to side to let your low back get a little bit more length. Then hold on where you need to take that little rock over to the right side so your left hip is lifted up a little bit. And now try moving your left sitting bone out to the left and toward the foot of your mat. And again, remember if it's a lot of sensation, then maybe lighten up a little bit. And into what's right for your body. And then come back into center and set both footprints on the ground. And from this place, find whatever prop you would like to use to set your hips on. And we'll come to a restorative version of bridge pose. So it can be a block, it can be a bolster, it can be as low as a folded blanket. It doesn't need to be up high. Feet walk in toward your sitting bones. And then inhale, lift your hips. Slip your prop underneath your hips and adjust it to where it feels the best on your hips, on your sacrum, on your low back. And from this place, you can keep your feet planted if you want, or you can work your legs out straight for more of a psoas stretch. Maybe you reach your arms overhead here, or keep your hands at your sides. Find a comfortable place for yourself. Maybe let your eyes close and tune back into the mantra of let go. And just remember, if at any point in time it stops being comfortable, then shift.
If your mind begins to wander, back again to that letting go breath, or simply return to observing your breath. We have about 3 more deep breaths right here. And now, if your legs are extended, walk them back in. Pick your hips up and move your pillow or bolster down, or whatever you're using, down underneath your thighs. And from this place, start to find a really comfortable arm position. Feel free to add a blanket over the top of you. Begin to find a resting place. So that might even mean taking the prop out from underneath your legs altogether. As you come to that restful place, start to create a breath that's soft but full. And begin to observe your body. Scanning through your body, starting at your feet. And moving to your ankles. Your calves and shins. Your knees. Your thighs. Your hips. Your low back and belly. Your ribs, front and back. Your shoulders. Upper arms. Forearms. Wrists. Palms. Backs of hands. Fingers. All the way to fingertips. And back to your neck. Back of your head. Crown of your head. Forehead. Eyes behind your eyelids. Cheekbones. Nose. Jaw. Awareness of your entire body. Bring awareness back to your breath. Very gently start to draw movement into your body. And then as you're ready to bend your knees and roll over to whichever side feels best. And pause for a moment, letting a full breath happen. And then slowly press yourself back up to your seat. Connecting your middle two fingers and your thumbs. Press your hands gently down onto your legs. With your eyes closed, we'll take 3 breaths with the mantra, let go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. Full inhale. Long exhale. Deep breath. Then hands to clasp in front of your heart, one thumb up, one thumb down. And inhale, tall through your spine, let. Exhale, pull against your fingers, go. Full inhale, long exhale, deep breath. And then switch to fingers. 3 breaths here at your own pace with your own breath. And connect palms together at heart center. Take a deep breath, fill yourself up. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste. Thanks, everybody.